Did episode 57 really spoil who Al is? Did we get a reveal in episode 57 of exactly who Al is? Now, I want to preface this entire video with, if you don't want to know anything about Al, or a confirmation or a denial of what is going on with Al, don't watch this video. But I do believe the anime did this intentionally. For those that don't know, yes, in the short series for ReZero, they reveal the fact that Al is an isekai just like Subaru. But there was something else that was hinted in those shorts, and that was the fact that Al was being very familiar with Beatrice. Beatrice didn't like it. And he kind of brushed it off like, yeah, I know that's how you are. And so it was kind of hinting at something. And that kind of stuck in my head. And so when I watched 57, I kept thinking about that. And the entire episode, there was all these hints being dropped. It seems really, really intentional. The idea at the very beginning, Amelia is literally feeling like she can trust Al. She's barely done anything with Al at this point, at least in the anime. There might be some stuff that was cut from the light novel. But she doesn't have any reason to trust Al, but she feels like she can trust him. Gives an indication there. In the shorts, the break time shorts, he leaves the moment that he hears that Amelia's coming. Doesn't want to be near her. And then yes, there's all these little drops throughout the episode that are similar to this. This idea that Al knows how Subaru ticks. He seems to relate to him in a lot of the ways. And so I was really kind of thinking, is this Subaru? My thought process going, is this Subaru? I'm just dead set on the idea this has to be Subaru. But there was something that I didn't realize. I mean, I recorded my impressions on it, and I'm like, yeah, here's what's going on. I'm giving my ideas on who I think Al could be, and my brain was just going crazy. I love this kind of stuff. It's super juicy. But there was something else that kind of came up here over the last week as well, is that I got hints from the light novel community that this is something that has been sort of something they've been speculating for a while. They're like, yeah, they're trying to figure this out as well. And so apparently this is something that's not actually even revealed in the light novel yet. But there was something that I didn't notice until I went to go make my thumbnails for the actual video that I made for episode 57. My monitor, when I'm recording, when I'm doing my watching of the shows and stuff, are kind of not as bright. But when I'm doing a lot of my editing, I have to adjust brightnesses and stuff. And I noticed something. And again, spoilers for people. If you want a confirmation or denial here, something is shown in the anime, and I believe it's intentional. Because depending on how bright your screen is, you'll see it or not. And yes, if you bump it up a little bit more, you're going to see more. There was this one shot. This shot right here. Now, even you guys watching this video right now, you might be able to see this or not. Yes, like I said, when I was watching on my one screen, when I was watching the show itself, this was all black. And I assumed that was the case. I think I seen like a little bit of a hint of some sort of different coloring here. Depending on your screen, you seen something or not. And I think for their intention, most of the time whenever we see Al, this is completely blacked out. In most of these shots, there's nothing here. You could increase the brightness, you won't see anything. But this seemed intentional. They intentionally went in there and drew a face. I think they wanted people to know. I think they wanted people to know. And if what I understand from the light novel, again, this is very is through proxy through another person, kind of filtering to make sure that I don't get spoiled on things. So I don't want spoilers here. There's a feeling that they might. I wonder at this point if they might be intending to reveal that in the light novel, and maybe they're just doing it in the anime too at the same time because they figure that anime fans are going to get spoiled anyways. That's my weird conspiracy theory here. But anyways, let's get to this. I bumped up the brightness a little bit. Or actually what happened is I kind of seen something here. Bumped it up. There you go. That looks like Subaru. And yeah, sure enough, I went online and sure enough, my feed is full of this kind of stuff. There's just a whole bunch of people going, hello? Hello? Did you just show something? Did you just reveal something? Did you just show who this is? There's everybody kind of doing the side-by-sides. Everybody else is picking up on this. I ain't some genius here. I ain't no genius here. Because again, I think it's a lot to do with how bright your screen is. People seeing something there or not. And even without brightening it up, you can obviously see the eyes are very similar. A very similar color, a very similar shape. And yes, even his eyelashes are the same. Yeah, obviously his hair is probably going to be a little different here. He's probably going to have some longer, spikier hair. But that's what I got. I just kind of cropped it out, bumped it up a little bit, and sure enough, I'm like, that that's got to be Subaru. I mean, there's a ton of possibilities here. My theories that I kind of had going on was the one that I think would be really cool, and this is the one that I'm kind of going with, is the idea that Al is somebody that is a failed timeline of Subaru. That in one of these timelines of him, he failed to protect Amelia or something like that, or something went really bad in the future, and that he went back in the past, or somebody sent him back in the past in order to undo something. And so he is of a timeline where he's probably a little more bitter, because there was that short, and again, that could have been like originally drawn out by the author, but that short kind of gave the indication that he was going to give up, that he was going to go crazy, that the fact that he met Subaru kind of helped him to know that he wasn't crazy. Like all of his memories of his past life wasn't just a figment of his imagination. And so that kind of adds to it in the idea that I wonder if it's more of the fact that he feels that Subaru sort of gives him a feeling that, hey, Subaru, you were who I was, and I kind of started thinking that was all just crazy. Like I was crazy this entire time. But now that I know that you're real, it confirms it, that I was once you. But at the same time, and that could be also a thing that's grounding him from his bitterness, because I think that he's probably going to be a character that became very bitter from what happened in that timeline, and now he's coming back in order to undo it. Now, the thing that I was running with when I was doing my impressions video, so sorry for anybody that watched that video and you have to hear me say it again, my question is why is he not with Amelia? If he's Subaru, why would he not be with Amelia? Again, he's avoiding her. And my assumption is that he either in his timeline, he messed up, he hurt Amelia, he caused her to fail, and he feels that he can never help her, and thus he's trying to avoid her. But why would he not warn Subaru about that? Why would he not tell Subaru to give up? And why is he helping Priscilla? That's a massive question mark. Why is he helping Priscilla? Now, my assumption, the route that I'm going is the idea that I think that he possibly is helping Priscilla because in his timeline, Amelia wins the royal selection, and it's a bad choice. That she would be better off if she was not in the royal selection. Like, what is the reason why she is joining the royal selection? There's no real reason. Let's be honest, the whole royal selection is for Roswaal. Now, we could get some reasoning put in here eventually, and Amelia has kind of stated that she wants to do this. But does she really need to? That's the question mark. It really was around Roswaal, and Roswaal has given up by this point. Why does she still need to be the leader? Why does she need to win the royal selection? Everybody else, except for Felt, everybody else has their reasoning for joining the royal selection and to win it. Priscilla definitely has her own reasoning. Maybe this Subaru right here knows that Priscilla is the best pick, that she's the best fit for the royal selection, and thus he's backing her. Now, he could just be using Priscilla because she has some power, and he needs to get involved with this whole situation somehow, and so he just picked Priscilla. He could have picked anybody else. He could have picked Anastasia. It doesn't really matter to him. He just picked Priscilla. But I think there's actually a reason. I think he's specifically chosen her because she might be the best fit. It could be because of her ability to charm over people. It seems to kind of indicate this idea that she's kind of won over a bunch of people. Maybe she has that ability. Maybe she has a charisma or something to take over people and control them. And maybe he sees that. Maybe he sees that as the best thing to help him out. But either way, this shot, again, I just didn't notice it until I went over there and I did my editing. I'm putting together my thumbnails, and then suddenly that one screen pop. I'm like, I see something in there. I can't believe they had to do this intentionally. There's no reason why they would have drawn all of this in here unless they were okay with people seeing it. They wanted people to see those eyes. Based on your screen brightness, you can see this. If you were to change your brightness right now, you'll be able to see this, even if you can't see it right now. That's intentional. Especially maybe if you have an OLED screen. If you have an OLED screen, it probably jumps out like nothing because OLEDs are so much more better at those darknesses. So, again, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing to learn about, even though what I've kind of heard through person, this is something that's not even, this is something that's still being speculated in the light novel series. I think this is kind of a sign they're probably going to start revealing that in the light novel if that's the case. Otherwise, Sorry, light novel. Sorry, light novel readers. We spoil it for you. Us anime fans spoil it for you because that aspect of making it visual. But again, they didn't have to do this. They could have made this all black and kept it black. His identity's always been covered up by that helmet. So very, very interesting. It kind of opens up a massive can of worms as to the possibilities of why Al's there. Why does he know as much as he does? And it technically does answer why he knows as much as he does. Again, when he walks up in there in that opening sequence of 57, he literally says, "This wasn't what I was told how this would happen." He has information on how things play out, and he's playing through to it. He could have a one of those tomes, one of those gospels that's telling him the information, but either way, very, very interesting stuff. I'll be curious to know if the light novel fans are upset about this. I haven't really kind of checked in with anybody. I'm sure eventually my usual contact will probably ask their contact, and we'll probably find out from there what they think about this. Or maybe they're going to keep it hush-hush for that person. Maybe they don't want them to know. I don't know how any light novel reader is not going to find out about this. It's going to get out there. But yeah, I'd be curious to know what people think about this being revealed in the anime. And it could not be Subaru. Let's be perfectly honest. This could be Subaru's son from the future. This could be Subaru's dad. I don't remember if Subaru's dad had the same eyes as there. I mean, that's a possibility. It could not be Subaru. It could be somebody related to Subaru. It could be somebody that just has Subaru's eyes. But again, I think this kind of confirms it. We'll see, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below, comment. Let me know what you think of this whole reveal. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave. If you like this content, you want to support on more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time, y'all take care.